So Mars is on the move, on the move, on the move today?
Yes, Mars is the planet of ego-oriented projection. And wherever it goes for 6 weeks, that's normally where you try and put a substantial amount of your energy to project your ego out in the world and get those needs met. Normally, Mars goes through a sign in 6 weeks. It has been in the sign of Sagittarius since March because it retrograded, moved backwards. So thank God it's finally out of that. The craziness of the last 6 months should slow down. And now Mars has gone into the much more realistic sign of Capricorn. And I thought everybody needs to know where Mars is going to be for the next 6 weeks in their chart. So for Libras, it's going to be in their 4th house of home. And Libras are going to do anything from remodel their home, restructure their home, to level their home and build it back up, depending on what that state is. Because all the way across the board, Libras have a brand new start with Jupiter in their sign for the first time in 12 years. And to do that, to reflect that, they want to do something with their home to make it more available to suit their needs. And so all I say is make sure you know where the load-bearing walls are before you start knocking stuff like that down.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio, this is a year for Scorpios to take a step back a bit. It is in their 3rd house of day-to-day living, so the pace of their day-to-day living is about to pick up to warp speed, where they will not have time to even catch a breath. They've got so many things to do and so many things to put into motion. For Sagittarians, this is in their 2nd house of money, and they're fixing to spend a boatload of money, just a ton of money on unanticipated expenses. And to Sagittarians everywhere who like to do things on the cheap, this is not the right time to do that. This is the time to do it right the first time, or it'll end up costing you way more money at the end if you try and take half measures. For Capricorns, this is a very difficult transit for them. They have achieved a whole bunch of long-standing hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, and now all of that is done. They can now focus on themselves, their wants, their needs, what they want to do, and how they're best going to project their ego out into the world. It's a good time to pick something you want to do for the next 2 years and then just start doing it. For Aquarians, this is a very frustrating transit for them. They have achieved a whole bunch of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives, and now they need to take a step back and incorporate that into their life. For the last 22 months, they've been working towards something. Okay, they've got it now. Now they have to find a way to make it a part of their lifestyle and try not to take on new projects and don't bite off more than you can chew. For Pisces, this is a very, very good place for Mars to be. They have suffered mightily for the last 6 months, and all of that professional suffering is over. And now they get the chance to take a group and let the group work to bring the Pisces what it is that Pisces says that they want. And it's going to take your more powerful female friends and well-established old friends rather than new, Johnny-come-latelys kind of guy. For Aries, it's in their 10th house of career and public standing, and they have been preparing for a debut over the last 6 months or so. Well, it's time to take that show on the road and see how it plays in front of a professional audience is what's going on. And they've wanted to do some change-ups in their career, and all the things they thought about over the next 6 weeks come to be. For Tauruses, legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance go very, very well for the Taurus. The last 6 months have been very, very trying for Taurus. It has taken all of their strength and all of their energy just to make it through the day. And now they get to create some sort of more realistic structure to work within, a better structure. Doesn't mean it's going to be easier, but it's going to be easier on the Taurus to live up to their commitments.
Gotcha.
For Geminis, it is in their 8th house of other people's money. And it's a time of spending more than you have, trying to maximize an existing resource rather than looking for new ones. And again, this is unanticipated expenses are just take the Gemini by surprise, which is not such good news for Donald Trump. For Cancers, it is in their 7th house of partners, and the fight's on as far as Cancer goes, and they get the chance to put their money where their mouth is. For Leos, it's in their 6th house of work. Lots of big changes going on at work, all of them positive, all of them that at the end of the day is the Leo finding a way to express their own energy.
All right.
They need to go for it. Then for Virgo, the last sign is about fun and frolic and festivities and children, sports, amusements, pleasures. The dark night of their soul is over. It's time to come out and play. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, with Mars entering the sign of Capricorn for the next 6 weeks.
Sounded like pretty good news. We'll see you next week.
So, always a pleasure.